Built by Ingalls Shipbuilding beginning in 2007, the USS San Diego was commissioned on May 19, 2012. This 25,000-ton, 684-foot-long San Antonio-class amphibious transport dock is based at Naval Base San Diego. Powered by four 40,000-horsepower Colt peel-stick diesel engines with two shafts, the ship achieves a top speed of 22 knots. The USS San Diego serves as a landing craft to transport Marines to enemy territory for amphibious assault, as well as a transport for emergency and humanitarian relief efforts. In addition to having a large landing deck for vertical aircraft, it also houses a large bay for watercraft.
Just to give you a picture, just to give you maybe a mental illustration, when the ship was being built in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and it came time to move the ship around through the Panama Canal and bring it out to San Diego, all of the crew that was living in Mississippi at the time was able to fit their personal vehicles on board, and they got shipped around with them. So if you can picture this whole space full of cars, that's about what it was like. About 300 enlisted, 30 officers for the Navy side, and we can carry 680 Marines and about 30 more Marine officers. We can carry up to 800 Marines if we're surging and we squeeze everybody in. All right, so this is the flight deck. It's got 4 landing areas. We can land 4 SH-60 Romeo helicopters simultaneously, all here, and it's all controlled from the helo control tower up there. So just like at the airport, they've got air traffic control, they top them down, adjust their positions, and all of this happens while the ship is underway and rolling. There's a little miniature naval hospital on board here, and when we're supporting the Marines overseas, we would stay off the coast and take in casualties as necessary. We've got a triage center out there. You can see we helo the Marines on, put them in the triage center. We have an operating theater over here. Especially since it's the sailors can sit up in their back.
Yeah, so he stands in the middle of that and he's playing with it.
Inside the ship, we don't call them rooms, we call them spaces. So we're in a space, we're standing on a deck, these are bulkheads, and this is the overhead instead of the ceiling. And when we climb up and down our stairs, they're ladders. So when you see a sign, it's like space ownership. And feel free to ask if you don't understand what a sign says or you're interested in learning more about a specific thing. Ask me and I'll answer to the best of my ability. But space ownership, that plaque means that the individual on the plaque is responsible for keeping the space clean.
I think I smell it.
Thank you.
No, smell it. Oh, wait for
So was it a big deal to get ready for this open house?
We pulled back in, we went on the way last Friday, we pulled back in Tuesday. We worked every day, Tuesday now to get ready. A few of us worked late, as far as 7, 8, 9 o'clock some nights. I had duty Thursday. We worked till about 9 o'clock painting on the boat. Some of those are our FSAs, food service assistants. What they'll do is they'll take them out of each rate for like 90 days, 120 max.
hash mark on your sleeve. When you see the guys walking around, for every hash mark here is 4 years. So this doesn't mean I've been in 4 years. I've been in 7, but you get a hash mark every 4 years. So next year in June, when I hit 8 years, I'll have another hash mark right here. This is how much money you make. All right. This is the money maker right here. All right. So, one chevron is E4. One chevron is E5. Another chevron is E6.
Next group is about this up here is one of our MOBI antennas. It's MOBI, stands for Man Overboard Indicator. Four antennas, each talk to each other. They take directional information. Every life jacket on the ship, or every K-POC type life jacket on the ship, has a little transmitter in it that's activated by salt water. So if you fall overboard, salt water closes the contacts and it starts putting out a transmission. It's picked up by these antennas and it sounds an alarm in the bridge. So even if you don't see somebody fall overboard, as long as they're wearing a life jacket, it will alert the ship that they've fallen overboard. So that's what that antenna's for. We have the camera up there and an identical one on the other side that we can use to examine ships, zoom in and out to get, target information, all that. And if you look over the front here, you'll see the 30mm gun, which is our forward gun, and we've got the ram launcher. I don't know if you can see it from here, but we've got the ram launcher on the port side that you'll get to see as we move through the bridge. And RAM is short for rolling airframe missile. And that's the missile that's launched straight out of the launcher and out. Oh, it's our turn. All right, it's our turn to go inside the bridge. Got everybody? So, where we are right now, this is the bridge, also called the pilot house. This is the part of the ship that really gets the most publicity whenever there's a TV show or a movie that shows the ship underway. All the action is taking place up here. This is where, in the movies, you see the captain all the time. When we're actually underway, the captain's not up here that often. The captain will be up here for special evolutions anytime that requires like his oversight. But most of the time, normal underway steaming, when we're just going and there's miles and miles of open water, it'd be an officer like myself who's in charge of the deck. So while we're up here, we've got myself, who would be officer of the deck. We would have a junior officer of the deck and a conning officer. So there's 3 officers on the deck running things. And then you have a helmsman, quartermaster, a messenger of the watch, and a port and starboard lookout. And that's pretty much your team. And there would be a few more people up here under instruction, but your basic team is the lookouts and the team running the machinery here. These consoles are all plugged in to each other. They're all part of the ship-wide area network contracted to SWAN. So they're all part of the SWAN network. And if any one of these were damaged, you could bring up the display on any one of these on any one of these other consoles. Not typically the helm console, but the other standalone ones. They can do that. And the helm console is also hooked up into SWAN. And all of the data on the ship, it's all fluid. So you can access the ship status from a computer terminal, down deep inside the ship. It's all designed to be redundant, so if you damage or destroy any one part of it, any other part of the ship can take over that function if need be. The bridge is where the navigation of the ship takes place, and the actual, the steering of it. We've got the ship's wheel right there. But the decision making, all of the heavy decision making and the communications and the tactical decisions, they all take place down below in CIC, the Combat Information Center. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see that today because there's a lot of classified material in that space. But between the 2 spaces, that's where the decision making is split. So we would actually have the officer of the deck up here, and he's responsible for steering clear of other ships. He's responsible for making sure that we're staying on course and that we're getting where we need to be. And then all of the operational decisions, that's all taking place down below in CIC. And the officer of the deck, in all of those matters, will answer to the tactical action officer. And the two, they have a supporting relationship, where the officer of the deck is responsible for safety of navigation, and the tactical action officer is responsible for tactical actions.